Very good morning, Anna. Thanks for tuning into the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television this Saturday morning. My name is Aishwarya Kapoor and here are this morning's headlines. After a raging 12-hour debate on Friday, the Narendra Modi-led NDA government defeats the no-confidence motion in the Lok Sabha by 199 votes. Prime Minister calls it a victory of 125 crore people of India. BJP submits a notice for privilege motion against Rahul Gandhi in Lok Sabha, accuses him of misleading Parliament. Rahul had named Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in the House while alleging that she lied on the Rafale deal. After Punjab and West Bengal, Prime Minister Modi to address a farmers' rally in Uttar Pradesh to highlight the centre's pro-farmer messages and measures in outreach to the community. Prime Minister Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping to discuss US trade protectionism when they meet during the BRICS summit in Johannesburg next week. Chinese Foreign Ministry says other issues of common interest to also be discussed. And India to take on England in the Women's Hockey World Cup that begins in London today. This is India's first appearance in the tournament in 8 years. First up, all the news on the 2018 no-confidence motion debate in Lok Sabha yesterday. The NDA government defeated the motion of no confidence moved against it in the Lok Sabha on Friday, and after a raging 12-hour debate in the Lok Sabha, the BJP-led NDA sailed through the vote, bagging more votes than its floor leaders had predicted. Prime Minister Modi, replying to the debate, which saw Congress President Rahul Gandhi's fierce attack on the centre, said that he hoped that the opposition is able to bring another no-confidence vote in 2024.
और मैं फिर एक बार इन सभी महानुभावों को 2024 में अविश्वास प्रस्ताव लाने का निमंत्रण देकर के मेरी बात को समाप्त करता हूं.
So now let's take a look at how the numbers stacked up yesterday. The Shiv Sena with its 18 members and BJD with 19 skipped the debate, bringing down the strength of the House. And the ruling NDA got the support of 325 MPs, while 126 MPs voted against.
Subject to correction, the result of the division is ayes 126, noes 325. So noes have it, motion is negative.
And after the win, Prime Minister Modi took to Twitter saying, and I quote him now, the NDA has the confidence of the Lok Sabha and 125 crore people of India. He thanked all the parties who had supported the government. He assured that efforts to transform India and fulfill dreams of the youth will continue. And BJP President Amit Shah said that the defeat faced by the opposition in the motion is a glimpse of the 2019 Lok Sabha poll results. Taking to Twitter, he said that the results are a reflection of people's faith in the Modi government and its mantra of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. He said that the outcome of the no trust vote is a victory of democracy and a defeat of dynasty politics. And our correspondent Navikram Singh spoke to Parliamentary Affairs Minister Anand Kumar after the NDA's win. Let's take a listen.
अनंत कुमार जी, आज क्या संदेश आप देखते हैं?
संदेश एक ही है, पूरा देश मोदी जी के साथ है, सदन मोदी जी के साथ है, कांग्रेस के नकारात्मक पॉलिटिक्स के खिलाफ जी देश भी है, सदन भी है।
सर, 2019 के लिए क्या नए समीकरण बनते देख रहे हैं? आपके साथ शिवसेना इस बार नहीं थी, एआईडीएम के साथ था, तो क्या नए समीकरण 2019 का शंखनाद है एक तरह से?
एक ही समीकरण है, मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में फिर से एनडीए और भारतीय जनता पार्टी का जीत का समीकरण है।
And now let's listen in to some of the reactions that came in soon after the NDA's win.
देश की जनता का विश्वास मोदी सरकार पर है और वही सदन में भी दिखा.
He knew exactly what he was going to say even before we said anything. So it's a scripted act by the Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister, in his 2-hour address, did not address any of the woes or any of the travails of the common man on the road. What the BJP says and what the BJP does is a difference between the reality and what they try and conjure up. And that is the signal that has gone to the common man on the street.
And reacting to Prime Minister Modi's speech in the Lok Sabha, Congress President Rahul Gandhi said that it was weak. Sonia Gandhi, on the other hand, called it old rhetoric. Prime Minister Modi had targeted Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi in his speech over dynastic politics. All right, let's get a perspective on what happened in the Lok Sabha yesterday. We have with us Mr. Ganapati Subramaniam, who is the Chief of Bureau Puthia Tharai Murai, joining us in the studio this morning. A very good morning, Mr. Subramaniam. Speaking about yesterday's proceedings in the Lok Sabha, of course, BJP-led NDA government defeating the no-confidence motion moved against it by the opposition, 325 to 126. The defeat in the Lok Sabha of the opposition also showed up, some surprise political alignments, because the NDA ally Shiv Sena refusing to participate in the debate or support the government, and we saw the BJD, the neutral BJD, abstaining from both the debate and voting, and that showed that even without the Shiv Sena, BJP got the support from non-NDA parties. How do you look at those political alignments?
Yes, the most important development in this regard was the voting of AIADMK in support of the government and against the no confidence motion.
Yes.
Because of the AIADMK support, the government could easily cross the 300 number. It's a very psychological kind of a number. You get more than 300 votes as against the opposition, which is getting less than 150 votes. That's how the final result is being seen. Therefore, AIADMK did not reveal till the very end that it's going to vote in favor of the government. People thought, okay, AIADMK may abstain or may join a walkout, etc. But all the AIADMK MPs in Lok Sabha voted for the government. And remember, AIADMK is not part of the NDA.
Yes.
And it is the third largest party in Lok Sabha. Therefore, this was very significant, important development. The Shiv Sena not voting with the government, Shiv Sena not voting against the no confidence motion was more than offset by the AIADMK. Therefore, in that context, we see that the NDA has a lot of bench strength also. Even if its own people desert like TDP went away and brought the no confidence motion, Shiv Sena decided not to participate in the proceedings at all. But AIADMK has come to the rescue of the government. Like that, this is the kind of coalition arrangements that we can look forward in the future, especially in the run-up to the 2019 Lok Sabha election.
Absolutely. So you rightly pointed out the motion yesterday initiated by TDP saw this 12-hour debate that actually sketched the contours of the 2019 electoral face-offs. And speaking about the debate that we saw yesterday from Rahul Gandhi's sharp attack on the government over defence deals, crony capitalism, we saw Prime Minister Modi's assertion that it was the arrogance really of the Congress that propelled the motion. So actually all this entire debate really setting the tone for the next year's general election?
Yeah, definitely. We can say that in a way the election campaign has already started. Rahul Gandhi, apart from his allegations against the government, including the Rafale controversy, also had the hug as an important point in the discussion of no confidence motion.
Yes.
So therefore, the unexpected hug suddenly made headlines, and everybody thought, what is this happening in Lok Sabha, which people had never seen before.
True.
But the Prime Minister in his reply not only rebutted each and every point, it was about 90 minutes replying to each and every point, but also said that Rahul Gandhi came here and hugged. He mentioned about that and said, they want me to get up from my seat. They are in a hurry to come to my seat. He twisted the entire hug and gave it a new perspective. So these are the things that made for such an interesting debate, even though it went so late into night.
True.
But at the end of the day, it is all going to be about the next elections, that is the assembly elections in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh and Mizoram, and then the big election, next year's Lok Sabha election. Therefore, all kinds of new alignments, all kinds of new campaigns we are going to see, and next 1 year is going to be full of really very, very hot political discussions in not only in the national capital but also in the state capitals.
Absolutely, and we'll come to the details of the debate a little more. But the no confidence motion debate saw an intense war of words between the ruling NDA and the opposition. The Prime Minister, in his reply, said that it is the opposition's arrogance that was behind the motion. He said it was not a floor test, but a test of opposition unity. Let's take a listen.
हमें तो अपनी बात कहने का मौका मिल नहीं रहा है, लेकिन देश को ये भी चेहरा देखने को मिला है कि कैसी नकारात्मकता है, कैसा विकास के प्रति विरोध का भाव है, कैसे नकारात्मक राजनीति ने कुछ लोगों को घेर के रखा हुआ है और उन सब का चेहरा निखर करके सज धज करके बाहर आया है। अगर चर्चा की तैयारी नहीं थी, 48 घंटे और देर कर दो तो फिर लाए क्यों? और इसलिए मैं समझता हूं कि इसको टालने की जो कोशिश हो रही थी वो भी इस बात को बताती है कि उनकी क्या कठिनाई है। न मांझी न रहबर, न मांझी न रहबर, न हक में हवाएं, न मांझी न रहबर न हक में हवाएं, है कश्ती भी जर्जर, ये कैसा सफर है? कभी तो लगता है कि ये सारे जो भाषण में सुन रहा था, जो व्यवहार देख रहा था, मैं नहीं मानता हूं कि कोई अज्ञानवश हुआ है। और न ही ये झूठे आत्मविश्वास के कारण हुआ है। ये इसलिए हुआ है कि अहंकार इस प्रकार की प्रवृत्ति करने के लिए खींच के ले जा रहा है। अध्यक्ष महोदय जी, ये सरकार का फ्लोर टेस्ट नहीं है, ये तो कांग्रेस का अपने तथाकथित साथियों का फ्लोर टेस्ट है। मैं ही प्रधानमंत्री बनूंगा कि सपने पर और दर भी थोड़े मोहर लगा दें, इसके लिए ट्रायल चल रहा है।
आके आपसे मिले, मैं बनता हूं।
इस प्रस्ताव के बहाने अपने कुनबे को जो जमाने की कोशिश की है, कहीं बिखर न जाए, इसकी चिंता पड़ी। एक मोदी को हटाने के लिए जिसके साथ कभी देखने का संबंध नहीं, मिलने का संबंध नहीं, ऐसी धरियों को इकट्ठा करने का प्रयास हो रहा है।
And the debate was initiated by TDP MP Jaidev Gala, who blamed both the UPA and the NDA governments for what he called the sorry state of affairs in Andhra Pradesh after its division.
This no confidence motion has been brought by the TDP for 4 reasons: fairness, trust, priority, and bias. Or rather, lack of fairness, lack of trust, lack of priority, and lack of an unbiased approach towards Andhra Pradesh. Nothing has been done so far on the special package. We are demanding to implement the cabinet decision on special category status to Andhra Pradesh, madam. So I wish to clarify the critics of our Chief Minister and the TDP that we're treading the right path. It is only you who are changing the goalposts for nefarious political gains.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi assured the people of Andhra Pradesh that they will not be left behind and that the government will ensure their welfare and development.
इस सदन के माध्यम से आंध्र के लोगों को विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं। मैं आंध्र की जनता को विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं। चाहे राजधानी का काम हो, चाहे किसानों की भलाई का काम हो, केंद्र सरकार, एनडीए की सरकार आंध्र की जनता के कल्याण के काम में कोई पीछे नहीं रहेगी। उनके जो मदद कर सकते हैं हम करते रहेंगे। आंध्र का भला हो, उसी में देश का भला हो, ये हमारी सोच है।
And Home Minister Rajnath saying that most of what was promised in the Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act 2014 has been implemented. He said that the centre has given 1,500 crore rupees for the new capital Amravati and 1,000 crore rupees for Guntur and Vijayawada.
2015 से लेकर 20 तक 22,113 करोड़ रुपए रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट ग्रांट के रूप में आंध्र प्रदेश को रेकमेंड किए थे। हमने 2015 और 80 के बीच 15,969 करोड़ रुपए की धनराशि रिलीज कर दी है, यह भी किया है। और आंध्र प्रदेश को अलग से एक सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी, ट्राइबल यूनिवर्सिटी, इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ पेट्रोलियम एनर्जी, अमरावती के लिए 100 किलोमीटर लंबी रिंग रोड, एम्स, एग्रीकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटी के लिए अलग से 135 करोड़ रुपए ये रिलीज कर दिए हैं। इतना ही नहीं, वाइजैक चेन्नई इंडस्ट्रियल कॉरिडोर को भी मंजूरी दी गई है। यह सब आंध्र प्रदेश को स्पेशल असिस्टेंस के तहत दिया गया है, अध्यक्ष महोदय।
All right, let's take a reaction from Mr. Subramaniam. Mr. Subramaniam, looking at the debate, of course, it was, Mr. Jayadev Gala's, what he said about Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act that really set the tone for the opposition debate. And we saw Prime Minister Narendra Modi and also Home Minister Rajnath Singh giving reply to all of the queries that he had raised during the debate. And I guess it was a very constructive, really, debate that we saw yesterday on that particular issue.
Yeah, let's look at the origin of the entire no confidence motion issue. Andhra wanted special status and a host of incentives. Since YSR Congress was fighting as an opposition party harder against the central government, competitive politics within Andhra forced the Telugu Desam to demand more and more concessions for Andhra and also move out of the NDA.
Yes.
Now, it is very interesting to note that the no confidence motion has not been moved by the main opposition party, the Congress. It is the Telugu Desam which moved this no confidence motion, and the Congress and others supported. But the BJD, when it walked out, you saw that the BJP said injustice to Orissa as the reason cited for walking out. Similarly, AIDMK, even though they supported the central government, they had a whole list of demands for Tamil Nadu. They said, all these demands we want to be fulfilled. Recently, we saw Kerala Chief Minister coming here and meeting the Prime Minister with the issues of Kerala. Like that, each and every state wants to look after their own interests. That has become the central theme, especially within the opposition camp. Even the BJP, the first speaker was Rakesh Singh, who was speaking quite a lot about Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh.
True.
Why? Obviously, we are going to see elections in a few months in these two states. Actually, regional parties are now holding upper hand within the opposition camp. You saw that despite all efforts, BJP did not join the opposition no confidence motion. Similarly, TR also walked out, refused to join. Shiv Sena, despite all provocation, stayed away, did not vote against the government. So, each and every party is dictated by the local pressures, that is within the state, especially the regional parties like BJD or Shiv Sena or Telugu Desam party.
Yes.
And Andhra and Telangana are going for assembly elections along with Lok Sabha elections next year.
Yes.
So therefore, you will see that Chandrababu Naidu is slated to come to Delhi today. He is going to again give a huge list of complaints against the central government and say that the central government is to blame for all the problems faced by Andhra and not his own government. That is how he is going to face the electorate next year.
Indeed. And one of the key issues that was also discussed during the debate was that of a Rafale deal. We'll discuss all that. But before that, let's take a listen on what Rahul Gandhi said and what Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said. While taking on the government over the Rafale deal, Rahul Gandhi accused Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman of lying about the deal.
राफेल हवाई जहाज हमारी यूपीए की डील में हवाई जहाज का दाम 520 करोड़ रुपए प्रति हवाई जहाज। पता नहीं क्या हुआ, किससे बात हुई, पता नहीं क्या हुआ, किससे बात हुई। प्रधानमंत्री जी फ्रांस गए, वहां पे किसके साथ गए पूरा देश जानता है। और जादू से हवाई जहाज का दाम 1600 करोड़ रुपए प्रति हवाई जहाज हो गया।
And while replying to Rafale deal, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that it was immature to play politics over the Rafale fighter jet deal. He said that the juvenile remark forced two governments to issue statements.
देश को गुमराह करने का काम और इन्हीं विषयों पर, देश की सुरक्षा से जुड़े हुए विषयों पर ही इस प्रकार से खेल खेले जाते हैं। ये देश कभी माफ नहीं करेगा। ये कितना दुखद है कि इस सदन में लगाए गए आरोप पर दोनों देश को बयान जारी करना पड़ा। मैं समझता हूं और दोनों देश को खंडन करना पड़े। क्या ऐसी बचकाना हरकत हम करते रहेंगे क्या? कोई जिम्मेवारी है?
And Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that the Defence Ministry could not disclose the details of the Rafale fighter jet contract because such disclosures were barred by the provisions of an intergovernmental agreement that was signed between India and France during the UPA governance.
On the secrecy clause, I'd like to show it before you, and I've submitted it for your consideration.
Yes.
It's an agreement which was signed during the previous government in the year 2008, 25th January 2008, agreement of secrecy, which is an umbrella agreement, which was signed by the then Honorable Defence Minister A.K. Antony.
All right, let's take a reaction from Mr. Subramaniam. Mr. Subramaniam, the debate really, of course, also saw the French Foreign Ministry also being dragged really into the controversy with that statement by Rahul Gandhi. How do you look at that? Because there was a fierce attack by Rahul Gandhi on the Rafale deal. And we also saw counter reaction, of course, from both the Defence Minister and the Prime Minister.
Definitely, it's a very important question, Aishwarya. What we have seen earlier is that Rafale deal has been discussed inside Parliament and outside Parliament. A lot of controversy, a lot of discussions, replies, questions, answers, etc. already happened. So therefore, there is nothing new in the issues raised yesterday, and the answers that have been given already have been again reiterated once again on the floor of the Lok Sabha. Therefore, this issue is not like a 2G scam or a coal scam which really caught fire and became very hot issues. Rafale deal, there are a lot of technicalities involved. It's a country-to-country deal. It's not a totally private sector deal. Therefore, there are a lot of fine contours in that. That is why it has to be understood in detail. And I doubt what kind of impact it will have on the common public. Will they understand that there is a big scam in this, or do they think that this is just a hollow allegation from the opposition? End of the day, the Congress has managed to do a large scale impact with its discussion on several issues, and one of it being Rafale. But the real impact of the entire no confidence motion, the credit has gone to the TDP. It's the Andhra issue which was the focal point of the discussion. Yes. And then the regional parties like say even the chief ministers like Mamata Banerjee, Arvind Kejriwal, they are playing a more important role in the entire opposition politics. which in a way, Rafale or no Rafale is a much
But
easier kind of a discussion for the government.
It was immature on the part of Rahul Gandhi to be making such accusations because obviously he did not have any proof of what he was saying.
Probably there could be two sides to the coin. Maybe what the government is saying is one part of it and what the opposition is alleging is another part of it. Finally, it is the clarification from France and also the clarification from the Indian government. If anybody has any more doubt on this, they are always welcome to go to the court. True. And then there are organizations like the CAG which can look into what kind of transaction that has actually happened and how it will pan out. But very important thing you have to note is that Rahul Gandhi mentioned that when the government changes, if the Congress comes to power, they are going to order investigation into many of the transactions of this government, and one of it could be the Rafale deal.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Subramaniam, for joining us this morning and sharing your perspective on the entire issue. And the BJP has also submitted a privilege notice against the Congress President, Rahul Gandhi, for misleading Parliament. This came hours after he accused Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman of lying to the nation on the Rafale deal. Now, according to the rules of the House, Gandhi should have given prior notice before making any allegations against any member. He should have given substantiating material to the Speaker. Parliamentary Affairs Minister has termed Rahul Gandhi's behaviour as childish, and BJP MP Prahlad Joshi submitted a notice for privilege against Rahul Gandhi in the Lok Sabha. And earlier in the day, while speaking in the House on no confidence motion against the government, Rahul Gandhi had alleged that Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman lied to the nation on the Rafale deal. And countering his allegations, Sitharaman said that all charges are absolutely wrong and added that the initial agreement for the deal was signed when the UPA was in power in 2008. And let's get to some other news now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address a Kisan Kalyan rally in Uttar Pradesh's Shahjahanpur today. In the rally, the Prime Minister will highlight the centre's decision to hike the MSP of Kharif crops. Meanwhile, the Shahjahanpur district administration is making all efforts to ensure the smooth conduct of the rally in view of the rainy season. This will be the third Kisan rally by the Prime Minister after Punjab and West Bengal. And the Goods and Services Tax, or the GST Council, will meet today to discuss some crucial changes in the new indirect tax regime for the first time in its second year. Finance Minister Piyush Goyal will chair the meeting, which will be his first, as Arun Jaitley is recovering from a surgery. Now, several prolonged decisions, such as the simplification of returns filing and tax on sanitary napkins and handicrafts and handloom goods, are likely to be the highlight of this meeting. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also set to meet Chinese President Xi Jinping on the sidelines of the BRICS summit in Johannesburg on 25th of July. The 10th BRICS summit will be held from 25th to 27th of July. And the meeting between Prime Minister Modi and President Xi will take place nearly 3 months after they had a 2-day informal summit in the Chinese city of Wuhan in last April to reset bilateral ties after the Doklam standoff. The two leaders also met during the SCO summit in the month of May. Now, in a statement, Chinese Foreign Ministry said that the two leaders will meet during the BRICS summit in continuation of the Wuhan spirit of stepping up their bilateral engagements, and will also discuss US's trade protectionism and other issues of common interest. Apart from President Xi, Prime Minister Modi will also meet South African President Cyril Ramaphosa and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Prime Minister Modi will arrive in South Africa on 25th of July for the BRICS summit, and prior to that he will be travelling to Rwanda and Uganda. And on to some cricketing action, sporting action, I beg your pardon. India will take on host England in the opening match of the Women's Hockey World Cup in London today. Grouped in Pool B, India will take on world number 16 Ireland on the 26th of this month, followed by world number 7 US on the 29th. And India's previous appearance at the World Cup was in 2010, when the event was held in Argentina. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.